Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another Fear Dragon vlog, aka Modest Musings. My name is Fear Dragon, and today's topic is going to be about kind of that meme that many people know about in the StarCraft scene. It's known as the dead game meme, and it's something that I abhorrently hate. I think I'm not alone on just in general, people I think in the StarCraft scene not really liking that whole thing. But the specific reason I actually want to talk about why I dislike it goes into something a bit further. There's this idea of what it means for a scene to be alive. And I feel like a lot of people have a very ambiguous definition of this, and it varies a lot between person to person. For me, if you have one person watching, two people playing a sport or esport for money, it's an esport, it's an alive scene. That's all you really need. You need to have some form of competition where people are trying to compete to be the best, and somebody is observing this. It's not just like two friends playing in the basement or whatever. So, to me, that's what it means. But I feel like a lot of people, and this is where the whole dead game memes stem from, they think that unless you are a top 5 or top 10 esport, then you're not really truly in a live scene. You're not really worthwhile. And that to me just blows my mind, because I feel like there are so many games that have been in that situation. They ended up growing into something more because people just enjoyed the game. That was the focus, is that they just enjoy the game. And the size of the scene, I mean, obviously it's good if it grows. It's bad if it declines, but it wasn't the primary focus. And I feel like that's one of the biggest problems that I feel has definitely come up with the whole StarCraft stuff. And I think people have definitely got a lot better about this more recently, but there's still an outside perception, not even for people in StarCraft as much. I feel like people that used to be involved in StarCraft, or people that I guess maybe weren't even involved in StarCraft, but look outward into StarCraft and think like, oh, but StarCraft's just a dead game, right? And it's this just weird concept that the scene isn't going anywhere and it doesn't have any potential anymore. And I think that's such a faulty assumption. So talking about Brood War in the foreign scene used to be this very small thing, but I mean, I would still say it was a very alive scene. You had the foreign tournaments, you had, obviously, is much smaller. You have the WCG stuff, but you'd still have a lot of people who became very big off of StarCraft. Day 9, Idra, Artosis, In Control, like tons of these really cool people came from that scene. Melee is another one where Melee scene completely just boomed off of a documentary of all things. Literally a documentary on the Smash Brothers Melee scene spiraled up the entire scene into this huge degree of popularity. It was actually kind of insane. But you just never know. CSGO was considered not exactly a great esport for multiple years, and then they just came out and revamped a bunch of things, and suddenly it just blew up like an insane amount. So I think it's so weird to just proclaim, oh, the scene, there's a decline, and therefore it's never going to grow again. And I'm not saying that StarCraft 2 is going to grow again. I'm just saying that I think that there is a very weird parallel, or not parallel, but there's a very weird connection that a lot of people seem to draw between whether a scene is growing and whether the scene is alive or dead. I think that's such a weird thing to me. I feel like a scene can exist, and there are plenty of scenes, especially if you look at the fighting game scene. There are plenty of individual games that are much smaller. I mean, a fraction of the percent size that StarCraft 2 is. But they still have a well put together scene. They still have tournaments that they end up throwing for each other. Maybe they don't even have necessarily all the huge events. Occasionally they'll show up at like an Evo or something as one of the off games, or, they'll show up in like corners of some of the other big events, but they still happen and people just love the game. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things that I wish more people would take away, is that they just learn to enjoy the game for what it is, whether it goes up or down, and the rest just kind of comes with it. If the scene grows, awesome. That's great. That's more opportunities. If the scene stops growing, I mean, it sucks, but if your primary focus is just enjoying the game and what it has to offer, then you'll find a way to enjoy the game regardless. So, anyways, that's going to be it for today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.